Welcome to The One Inside, an internal family systems podcast. I'm your host, Tammy Sollenberger. On today's podcast, I chat with Christopher Gray and Yaniv Rose about authentic relating. When there's more of you, there's more of me. Hey, everyone. I'm so excited about this podcast episode. It really, I think, is one of my favorites. Chris and Yaniv teach an IFS and Authentic Relating course, and it is wildly popular. You can check out their course at AuthenticIFS.com. You can check out their bios, which are pretty impressive, on the notes section. I'm not going to read them for time's sake, and I'm not going to tell you all the stuff we talk about. Basically, what I'm going to tell you is that we just practice this model of authentic relating and integrating that with IFS, speaking for parts, speaking for what is happening between us in the moment. They say that authentic relating is a meditation for what is here. I love this episode so much, and I hope you will too. Stick around for the last 10 minutes. We play an authentic relating game. We invite you to do the same thing. It's just incredibly powerful. So, to find out about their next course and more information about them, go to AuthenticIFS.com. To get my new book, The One Inside 30 Days to Your Authentic Self, you can go to my website, TammySollenberger.com. Enjoy.
Tammy.
Hey.
Hey. What's up? You like my setup?
Right.
I'm in my son's room. It's very professional.
Wow. Nice. Is that a spaceship?
This thing right here.
Yeah.
He was playing with a bow and arrow, so we got him like a bow and arrow situation, but it's like a little kid one. He's 11, so he was not impressed. So I think it's too much of a little kid one. And I was like, that's okay with me. I don't know that you need a grown-up weapon. I
like the lamp.
Oh, the lamp. See, that's more my style. Little trucks, little what is that called? I used to know all the trucks because he was a little boy. We loved all the trucks. So a little backhoe or whatever that thing's called.
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys doing today?
Well, I just got up. I haven't been up very long. I'm out here in California. I started the day pretty well. I was feeling kind of energized, and I don't know, in the last half hour, I kind of dipped into some like collapse. And I'm really wishing that I was feeling like I was feeling about 40 minutes ago, which is the way I want to feel as I stride through life confidently. So make a little space for that. And yeah, thanks for asking, Tammy.
Yeah, I love that you just renamed yourself Chris's Parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a full day so far because I'm in Israel and it's 7 p.m. and I've had a very triggering weekend so far, which has been great. Great. It's been also painful and also really interesting. And yeah, just really grateful for a lot of lessons and for this work of allowing me to be with whatever is. Yeah, that's and I'm super excited to be here and do this with you. Like I feel like I'm with a celebrity here. I'm such a fan of your podcast. It's so like just really sweet and homey. Like it feels like
good.
Yeah.
That makes me happy. That's what I want it to feel like.
So how are you?
I'm doing good. What I thought we could do is we could sort of check in kind of externally, like I usually do in the episode, to say, where I'll say kind of like where I am in the universe, in the world. But then why don't we do what you guys do, which I don't know really how to do a lot of, but check in inside in a way, sort of the slow, authentic relating way. So let's do both and sort of see and kind of practice what that feels like and looks like and sounds like for us and for the people that are listening. How does that sound? Great. Okay. Well, I'll start. I am in New Hampshire, and today it's actually like 50 degrees, which is warm for New Hampshire in February. So I am going to I can say what I'm noticing inside of me is this a little bit of energy, because I'm going to take my dog for a walk, and I'm going to spend a whole bunch of time outside today, just because it's so nice. And I have my windows open. So that's given me some energy, and I can kind of feel that in my heart. I can kind of feel it on my face. Like I feel like I have had a smile all morning, just anticipating being able to be outside and having some fresh air. I'm also noticing a little bit of like, I want to say butterflies, but it doesn't feel like butterflies. It just feels a little bit of a little tingling in my belly, just a little bit of nervousness about wanting to honor the work you guys do and be able to explain it and help people understand it. So I'm feeling that a little bit in my belly. So what about you
Yeah.
guys?
I noticed I relaxed a little bit hearing you there, Tammy, at the end. Like all of a sudden I got the sense that you are on our side. And yeah, I just felt my shoulders relax. Yeah, feel tender. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, that makes my heart, I feel this warmth in my heart. My heart feels warm, and I actually feel myself sort of sink in my chair a little bit more, like settle
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, I'm sitting next to my little heating oven here, because it's cold for Israel. I'm in Israel. It's about 7 p.m. and it's about 11 degrees Celsius, which is, I guess, like 50, 51, 52 Fahrenheit. I just Googled that. And yeah, I'm yeah, noticing a part of me that's nervous and really wants to do a good job and really wants people to get it and to feel the medicine that I have experienced by doing this work and dedicating my life to it. And like this part is like, I hope people get it because it's so medicinal. Yeah. And I want them to. And there's also a place of like, and then I'll be worthy. Yeah, there's a part that says that also. Yeah, that's what's going on for me.
What was it like to hear that, Tammy? Hear Yaniv check in.
Yeah, thank you for asking that, Chris. I had parts that, in IFS we say subgroup. So I had parts that subgrouped with the idea of this being medicine. Even talking earlier about, when we get triggered or have trailheads, we have a method to help us. If we're having a hard day or we're having stuff with our relationships, we have a method. We know what to do to help us and help others. And I think we probably share, given what I do and what you guys do, a passion for getting this information out there, not just to people that come to therapy, but to the general population. And so I had parts that just really subgroup with this idea of like, we have this medicine and we so want to share this medicine. And then when you said the parts of you that are sort of tied into worthiness about that, I thought, oh, yes, I same, right? So there are parts of me. Yeah, there are parts of me that are like, then maybe I'll be seen, right? Like maybe if I help you, then maybe my little exile says, maybe I'll finally be seen.
For people who aren't, here with us, I noticed, Tammy, when you said like this, the smaller part that wants to be seen, you leaned forward a little bit and you put your hands in like a prayer position. And to me, like I got the sense of a smaller part of you,
Mm.
you know.
I love that. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just audio, so people don't get to see how cool we all look. But all the
Yeah.
nonverbals we do, and I do. I do a lot of nonverbals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Chris just did, he pulled an authentic relating trick on you. to get you to reveal your current experience, to reveal what we call impact. Like, how did Yaniv saying this impact you? Like, what is the moment to moment experience? And yeah, just noticing that, hearing what you just shared, the subgroup feeling, which we in Authentic Relating, we just call it resonance. Like when we resonate with someone, we do these kind of spirit fingers and like, yeah, me too. Or so I imagine that that's the subgroup thing. And when I heard what you shared, I just really felt much closer to you, which is a experience that I have a lot when I practice this. Yeah.
So I have to watch. Part of me says, "Oh, watch Chris for his tricks."
Yeah, the part of you maybe gets a little guarded. Yeah.
Guarded but open. Guarded but open. Like, okay, I liked it. I liked it though. I like that it feels like you're inviting me into this really, really cool experience that I want to be invited into.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad to hear you want to be invited into whatever we're doing. Yeah, I know when I hear that word trick, I really bristle at it. Because the associations that come to me with that is it's a manipulation, or like a manipulation, almost without consent. There's some yuckiness to it. And I probably can use it in that way too. I think there's a shadow side to everything. What's possible when I'm present with you, Yaniv, right now, is that I get to experience more of you. And there's something about experiencing more of you which feels like more of me. And I don't know why. For me, authentic relating ends up being, I used to think if there was more of me, there would have to be less of you. Or if there was more of you, there'd have to be less of me. But what I discover is that if I really slow down, there's plenty of space for more of you, more of me, and more of us.
Chris, there's a part of me that wants to just really hang out here with what you just said. Because thinking about relationships, the idea if there's more of you, then there could be more of me, and then there's more of us. That's not how we usually think of relationships. And so I want to hang out there. But I also want to just honor that I want you to check in too, sort of where you are in the world, and checking in with what's happening with you this morning too.
Oh, thanks, Tammy, for remembering. I had even forgotten. That feels so good. I'm in Berkeley, California, and weather is beautiful here today. My partner, who lives in London, is going back right after this conversation. I'm taking her to the airport because she was on a 3-month visa and has to go home now. And so I've been doing my best to completely compartmentalize that and use all the skills I learned growing up to put things in a lockbox and slap a smile on my face, which in a way has helped me to be present in the moment the last couple of days and not overcome with loss and sadness. But I am aware that that's in the background of for me in our conversation today. So just saying it, I feel gratitude that I love someone in the way I love her. Yeah.
So I have a part that wants to cry. I'm just feeling that, like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. So I'm noticing that. Yeah, I also have a part that wants to ask questions like, oh, when are you going to get to see her again? Like sort of like my girlfriend part that wants to be like, tell me all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, my heart's hurting with you a little bit. Like it's pretty hard.
Yeah. It feels good to feel. Yeah.
Yeah. And our parts, I think, don't realize that, right? Like the parts, like you said, growing up, doing what we did, which I did too, similar parts that just say, here's my big feelings, put them in a lockbox because you have to function. And the only way to function is to put the feelings and the parts in a lockbox.
Yeah, I would say that that's the same place we learn the lesson of, if there's more of you, then there would be less of me.
Yeah. Yeah. So can we talk about that idea? If there's more of you, there'll be less of me. And how we maybe not how we learn it, but how does authentic relating teach us how to be in that, to be, if there's more of you, there's more of me, and there's more of me, there's more of you, and then there's more of we. How does authentic relating teach that?
What do you think, Yaniv? You have any thoughts on that? I'm
I
having a
was
desire to hear your voice in context of authentic relating.
Yeah, I'm noticing this part of me that feels like the pupil part, and like, well, Chris is the senior authentic relating facilitator, so he's going to talk about authentic relating, which is kind of like a protection part. That's like, I don't want to be exposed and talk about something and feel the um, imposter syndrome feelings. So yeah, and as I share that, it feels really good to put this here between all of us, um, and yeah, I feel more calm and more able to speak about this. And I think that, and I've created this here. I've brought more into the field that is between the three of us, which is more of me, right? Like a deeper part of me. And just like you shared before, Tammy, as you resonated, as you felt the subgroups, we find more points of connection the more we reveal. And that's the promise of authentic relating. How was that? Was that good?
It was super good, and I super loved the hand motion too, like the punch to the side. Woohoo! Yeah, I love it. And what just came up for me as you said that, before you said the cute thing at the end there, what came up for me is, what parts of me fear is going to happen though is I'm going to share and it's going to be too vulnerable, or it's going to be it's not going to feel too vulnerable. The reaction from other people, maybe not you guys necessarily, but the reaction from other people will historically. So my parts are saying historically, when we lean in to share, then it's either criticized or told it's wrong, or it just doesn't go well. So kind of stay back and learn the rules for appropriate sharing.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that. It seems so human to me. It's like, let me learn the rules that determine just how much I'm able to reveal and still be belonged. And whatever space is left over, I'll figure out how to live in.
Yeah.
But all those other things, I can't include. It seems so human. And I think we learn it too. I mean, we're here. We somehow survived this long. So it's served. And I really appreciate what I think I hear you saying about like a little bit of risk, maybe. There could be some risk. And that aligns with my experience. Like authentic relating is risky and maybe scary, but also brave, I think. One of the aspects of authentic relating is what we're talking about is what's happening between us. The topic is what's it like to be us together. So if I think of, me and you, authentic relating is about the and. Like, what is the and like?
Yeah.
So I could imagine saying to someone like, wow, I notice that I'm attracted to you, or I'm feeling a little scared. So I'm revealing my experience like Yaniv did. And then one of the practices we do then is to check in with the other person. What's that like to hear? Curiosity. And then maybe the other person's like, you're making a big deal out of nothing.
Yeah.
But them saying they're making a big deal, I'm making a big deal out of nothing, triggers some experience in me. Maybe I want to shut down. So the authentic relating move is like, oh, wow, I notice I'm suddenly like constricted and I'm starting to shut down. Whoa. That's it. It's a meditation on what's here. So because it's a meditation on what's here, nothing is out. It's all in. Wow, I'm really feeling a desire to run and shut down right now. I'm angry. I'm starting to get angry. It's in, and because of it, it can be scary, but it could also be vitalizing and energizing. And then when I'm received with curiosity, it's deeply connecting. I'm sharing only of my experience with it. So what I love about the practice is the more connected I feel with you, the more I'm willing to risk a little of revealing. And the more I'm able to be with what I've revealed myself. And the more I get a sense you're able to be with it with curiosity, the more belonging I feel, which allows me to take a little bit more of a risk, which then creates more belonging. So it's more us, more me, more you, little by little. It's possible.
So I guess I'm curious about what happens. Part of me says this is a stupid question, but I'm thinking about what happens with what parts step in that keep us from doing that. Like, what parts step in? Is it that I stay up in my head and I stay with the content, and then I can't go into sort of the and or this experience of us right now? I go into like, but no, I guess I got to say la 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 la.
Can I take this one? Thank you. Yeah. Tammy, hearing you, what's coming up for me? Authentic relating allowed me to understand the motives behind what my brain is doing at this moment. Like, it's brought me to a place where, I might really want to tell you a story of how something that you just said connects to me, connects to my life. And if I look into that, if I slow down and I'm like, why do I want to tell this story? Then I can bring that. I can say, hey, I'm noticing that I really want to tell you a story right now because I really want you to feel connected to me, and for you to feel that we are the same. I really want to be seen by you right now. Yeah. So, but of course we don't have that language. We don't have that context. We speak in stories. We speak through managers, right? If we bring it to IFS, we speak through managers. And as I connect this with IFS, for me, authentic relating has been an incredible way of cultivating self-energy in connection.
I love
What's that
that.
like to hear?
Yeah. Well, yes. So what comes up for me, and maybe this is probably a thinking part, but my thinking part, who I love, just said, yes, because it's space, it's unblending. What you're describing is, oh, I'm noticing a part that wants to tell a story. And then I am noticing the part. That's an unblending statement. Now there's space between me and the part. Now I'm noticing the part wants to tell a story. Now I can speak for the part. Oh, a part of me wants to tell a story. And that is unblending, and that is space. And then I speak for, that's why I'm hearing you guys say over and over again, I'm speaking for a part of me who wants to tell a story. I'm not speaking from the part in telling the story. I'm speaking for. That's what it sounds like to me, is it's speaking for our parts. And Chris is doing a hand.
Doing the
jazz hands.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Damn it.
Yeah, I would say what Chris and I have been doing in our work together, when you say space, yes, it is space. And I am talking for a part. And what Chris and I, we've taken the principles of authentic relating, the practices of authentic relating, and we've said, okay, this is not just space from a part. I have a relationship with this part. And I have an ability to increase the quality of the relationship, of the connection that I have with my parts. And this is exactly where what Chris and I do stands, in that place of, as we cultivate better relationship with others, we cultivate a better relationship with ourselves, and vice versa. Yeah.
Is that let's see. Oh, wait, I was on the right page. As without, so within. Is that what that means?
That's how it lands for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So Yaniv mentioned the practices of authentic relating. I'll share them now. There are 5 behaviors, 5 habits, 5 practices. Pretty straightforward. And as I share them, Tammy, I'm curious, as you're listening, to see how it lands in an IFS frame for you. I have a suspicion, but I'm curious. So the first practice is welcome everything. And that is turning towards whatever's actually already here anyway, even if it's just turning a little bit towards it and being with it. So I talked about some sadness and grief. Welcoming everything is turning towards what's here, which is my grief. This tends to create a quality of openness in my relationship to what's happening. So the first one's welcoming. The second one is check my assumptions. Check my assumptions about what I think about me, what I think about you. This creates curiosity. So now we have open and curious as qualities of the relationship. The third practice is reveal my experience in the present moment. We've been doing this together the whole time. And that is, once I have an idea of what's happening internally, to dare to let you know what it's like for me to be with you externally. Reveal my experience, welcoming it. The fourth one out of 5 is own my experience. That is imagining that my experience largely is impacted and created from my entire past experience, my life, and that I bring a lot to it. So it's owning my experience over blaming you for my experience. And that creates a quality of responsibility. And then the last one is honor self and honor other. Can I honor myself by finding my dignity and speaking what's true and holding it in an owned and curious way? Can I honor you by being in humility and being open to your experience as completely legitimate as is? I may not agree with some of the things, but that doesn't delegitimize it. So this is a culture of respect. So simply 5 practices: welcome, get curious, reveal, own, and honor. It takes this connection between us from like the bandwidth of a cocktail swizzle stick to like a big wide tube. And then because that connection gets so wide, it can handle more of what's actually here, which could be anger, frustration, turn on, sadness, resentment. And the more that's able to be handled through this wider connection, the more contactable I am. The more of me you can contact, the more of you I can contact. So I see it as very simple practices that change the width of the relationship that's possible, the bandwidth of the relationship. And I can do this with you, and I can do this with my parts. So these same practices I can utilize to cultivate or access self-energy when I'm establishing a relationship with a part. So without, as within. Okay, just said a bunch of words right there. Curious, Tammy, what's going on? What's happening?
Right, so I'm clapping. I love the words. I love the teaching. Sort of, parts of me love the teaching. So I'm feeling that. A part of me just really wants me to say, like, instead of a cocktail swivel straw, like a big fat milkshake straw. You know those milkshake straws that are really big. Yeah. So that's a part of me wants to say that. And then, yeah, I think what's coming up for me, right? It sounds like to me that when I'm in self, which I'm putting in quotes, when I'm in self, these practices sound pretty easy-ish when I'm in self. But when I'm not in self, I don't even know. I feel like that might be pretty hard. Tell me what's happening.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's almost like I can define not in self by the absence of those 5 practices.
Yeah, that's good.
And anytime I'm noticing a little bit of self energy, I bet there's a little bit of welcoming or curiosity or owning or revealing or honoring at play.
Yeah.
So I agree.
And my guess is, just like self energy begets self energy, if I notice a little bit of the ability to welcome, and then I open that up, then there could be more welcoming, and then we've got self energy, and that can just build on itself. Okay.
Yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah, and just like the opening, as we do this, we practice with others, authentic relating. And we've noticed that self energy is, as it is accumulative, it's also shared, right? Big S self. This is something that as I'm with you and as I find my self energy and I find my curiosity and openness, your experience of being with me, a lot of times I've noticed, is of unfolding openness and curiosity. We feed off each other, definitely.
I love that. I love the word unfolding. Jazz hands. And then I love the idea of doing it. So there's this beautiful practice of doing it with each other, but then there's also this practice of doing it with our parts, which is just unblending and then friending, beginning to friend, welcome the parts that are here. And that feels like an amazing practice of being able to just welcome whatever parts are here. Here's something else I wanted to ask about. What about this phrase, our body is always truthing?
I think that might have been one of the things on my list, Tammy. Yeah. So I would maybe describe myself as a thinking type. And I didn't even know there was anything below my chin until about 8 years ago. You know, I'm 50. But the more I do these practices, the thing is, like, I don't know when I'm not in self energy. I don't. I want to use the terms, but my body knows long before I know that I'm scared. And so I might have some strategy. Let me look cool. Let me have a disaffected, aloof face, so I'm not revealing anything. You know, my body's tight, and I've started to realize that, like, I'm a little embarrassed because I think this is so normal for people, but it wasn't for me. But my body's like an early warning system. It lets me know how it is for me to be with you right now. And if my body's tight, that's telling me something about what it's actually like for me to be with you. And if my shoulders are loose, or if I have butterflies in my stomach, if I'm moving around, these are all signals of what it's actually like for me to be with you in this moment. So as much as I might want to override it strategically, like, I guess, believe my face over my words, or like believe my body over my words. It seems to always be truthing. And I think it's the beautiful thing is I'm often less conscious of it, so it's more true or unfiltered in a way.
Yeah.
So I tend to notice signals in my body that let me know that I'm not comfortable with someone before I'm consciously aware that I'm not comfortable.
Yeah, I love that. I wonder, like, what parts are involved in that, right? Like, what parts, maybe your parts aren't as, this isn't the right, but like maybe your parts aren't as protective or filtering out your body, right? Because you've been living up here in your head for so long. So you got so many parts up here. So it's almost like a little loophole where you're like, your parts like, oh, wait a minute. So there's this whole thing happening in your body that your parts are like letting you have access to, kind of what your experience is like through your
I
body.
love that phrase, that your term loophole. That's what it feels like. It's like the parts have found a loophole to communicate.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really feels spot on to me.
And let me just say, my part's are really happy because I feel like I was like talking and I was using too many words. And I thought, wait, I'm halfway through the sentence and I don't know what I'm saying. So it feels really good for you to say that felt like landed well on you, because I thought, oh, good, because I was like, I don't know what I'm saying right now.
Thanks for revealing that.
Thanks for letting me. Tell me about, speaking of revealing, on your list was revealing what is as a tool for awareness, growth, and revelation of parts. So tell me about this idea of revealing what is.
Yeah, I think we touched a little bit about this when we talked about like telling a story, and like a part of me wants to tell a story. So for me, I've always had these parts that really needed connection with people. And that's what brought me to authentic relating, really. And I discovered through authentic relating, because I kept revealing, because I kept owning my experience, I was able to kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like peel, right? I was able to peel off the layers of my awareness by really speaking them out. When I put something in front of another person, when they are witnessing me, that is a different thing than I'm just thinking a random thought that comes in and goes out. We're able to really, thanks to this practice, pause, slow down, and see what this experience really is like. Why am I saying what I'm saying in this moment? Not from a place of blame, but from a place of deep curiosity. And then that allows just being with it, just bringing that curiosity, that allows one layer of peeling. And then I'm like, oh, so I want you to love me. That's why I'm saying this. Wow. And we have this concept of the hologram in authentic relating, which is about how I show up in one moment is how I show up in every moment. And then when I have that context and I'm saying, oh, I just said this because I wanted to control your experience. I didn't want to lose face towards you. I wanted you to keep loving me. I wanted you to like me. Then I'm able to say, where else does this show up in my life? And every time that happens, there's like a little light bulb that comes up. Oh, you're about to say something that you're saying because you want to be loved. And I welcome it. Like, I get it. I get those parts that want to be loved, of course. And now I have this choice of like seeing these parts, being able to see them, soothe them, and act in a way that serves me.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and act in a way that serves you and serves your relationships, and actually probably opens up an experience for being loved and receiving love.
Yeah, that connects to the more of me, more of you. I truly believe that what parts really want is to be seen. Like us, we want to be seen. And the practice of authentic relating has more than anything allowed me to use parts language to bring my parts into the relationship and say, hey, there's space for you here. You are seen.
The other thing that was coming up was the idea of an IFS. We have the idea that we go slower to go faster. And I was thinking that's exactly what happens. So say you're in a relationship and you're having a conversation about, what you're having for dinner or something. But it's sort of getting heated or whatever, and to slow down and to talk and to do what you just said, reveal what's happening for me in this moment, what's happening for you, what's it like as I share what's happening for me, and we sort of slow down. Like, not only does it deepen this beautiful connection, but I don't know, it just feels like then you're not just talking, you're talking about the intimacy of the relationship, and you're getting so much more out of that going that slow than you would out of, being up here in your head and talking about, like, I don't know. That's what it feels like it's deeper, like it's slower and deeper.
Yeah, Tammy, I'm hearing that for you, slowing down allows to deepen, allows to really see what's here. How much do we just stop and see what's here? There's, as Chris mentioned, our perspective is the vast sum of all of our experiences. And I have the opportunity to slow down enough to see, hey, you're not my mom. This is not you criticizing me for being late, and punishing me. yeah, I'm just feeling punished. I'm just feeling unworthy. This is the experience. This is the thing that I can put a stamp on of this is really happening. If I say to you, you're doing this, you're criticizing me, I can't put any stamp on that. You're going to say, I'm not criticizing. Like, that's not, that might not be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes, yeah. And those become whether you're criticizing me or not. So then that is not helpful.
Right.
And the fight turns into that, which actually is not what it's about at all. God.
Yeah, it's like, I think whether you and I are talking about it or not, maybe we're making dinner or getting on a bus or going through the grocery store, whether we're focusing on it or not, it's still like something for us to be together. It's never not like something for us to be together. But most of the time, I'm not slowing down enough to notice what that is. And I think that's okay because I also want to be functional in the world.
You still need to get your groceries.
Still need to get the groceries. You know, I mean, I could slow everything down where we wouldn't even get through what's it like entering Trader Joe's? I noticed that in Trader Joe's, I suddenly feel we can do that and not move. So, yeah. What I like about this work that Yaniv and I have been offering is that it gives me more range. It gives me more capacity to slow down and connect when I'm wanting more connection. Because it's always there.
I wonder, right, and it's always there externally and internally, right? Our parts are always wanting more connection with us. And so that's always there too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something about the revealing what's actually here. I've been, when you were sharing, Yaniv, I'm so, about going under, I actually want to be loved by you right now. There's something about the revealing that just is a game changer. Like, I noticed with my partner for years of therapy, whenever I would get close to a woman, I would like breathe less and less and less over time. And then there would become a point where I would want to run in the other direction, like disconnect. I'm feeling disconnected. But whenever I was feeling disconnected, I just tried to connect more and it just got me tighter and tighter and tighter. It was the worst. And I haven't succeeded on a way to somehow get past that. So when I met my current partner, I said, there's going to come a time soon where I'm going to want to run in the other direction. I'm going to feel really disconnected and I won't be able to breathe and I'll be shutting down. So when that happens, what I'd like to do is just tell you that's happening. And I wondered if you'd be willing to respond simply by nodding your head and saying, okay. And she was like, okay. But at the time I wasn't in it. And then soon enough it happened. And it just happened yesterday. That's why it's on my mind. And so what I said was, like, I noticed my body shutting down, and then I just said, I'm completely freaking out right now and I want to run the other direction. And then she just looks at me and goes, huh, okay. And then I exhale. And just the irony is that by revealing it, I'm actually moving toward her. It's like more connected and just revealing the fact that I want to disconnect. And I don't have to not want to disconnect. Like it gets to be here,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, I want to disconnect. And then sometimes I'm like, what's happening for you, hearing this? Usually she's cool, but sometimes she'll say, well, there's a part of me that's triggered, But God, like being able to include myself as I am without having to eradicate any sort of instinctive protective reaction. Oh God, like I'm just more relaxed. It's just the best. Like there's nothing needs to be solved. I didn't have to solve myself.
Or exile that part, right? So now you're not supposed to ever feel disconnected or like you want to run or you're not. So then the more you push that part away, then you're going to get backlash.
Yes. I backlashed myself right out of 20 years of relationships for sure.
Yeah. I'm just feeling really appreciative that you shared that. It feels vulnerable and open, and parts of me just feel very appreciative, but also, okay, there's a part of me that wants to say this, but it's cringing a little bit. There's a part of me, like the girl parts of me, that just love male parts that can share like that. And there's a part of me that's like, oh, can I say that? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but that's kind of what's happening for me right now.
I appreciate your pre-reveal. That really allowed me to get to know you more. That cringy part, like I really like. I just exhaled just hearing you giving space to that.
Okay, how about one more? There's so much good thing. What about one more? Because this is such a strong sentence. Another one. Loving attention as the single most powerful force in the universe.
Oh my gosh. All we need is to be with. All we need is to clear space. That's the medicine for me. That's what I've experienced. Being with someone in what I call loving attention is being with, is loving what is here. That's it. Not trying to change it or fix it or move it like in any direction. Just being with it. And that for me has proven to be what we're missing. When, we shared a few times, like, what is it like to be with our parts and like peel this onion of our present moment experience? Because the only constant is movement. As you said, Tammy, sometimes we push things away, and then the movement is backlash, and that is kind of a circular movement, right? And like, I don't want this part. I don't want this. It's still here though, but I don't want it. What if I look at it? Just like, oh, this is here. It'll react. It'll move. It'll do something just by me saying, yes, you are here. Yeah. This has also been a very interesting kind of debate between me and Chris. At least when we started doing this work around, Chris comes from the world of being with, and that's it. Like just being with. And of course, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, said anything. And when he started looking into IFS, he said, well, there's these procedures, there's this, what I interpreted as yang energy of like moving forward, like, asked befriend the parts, and then find out their fears, and then ask for permission. There is kind of like push forward in a way, like a little nudge. And yeah, I think we've reached more of an understanding around it, and how the movement can come in a very natural way. You know, as I am with clients, if I catch myself saying, oh, like to myself, okay, so what's the next part of of the procedure? Oh, I should. Then I'm like, am I with this client? Am I here? Is myself here? Or am I thinking about my next client? Am I thinking about lunch? Am I thinking am I holding on to this agenda of I'm gonna heal this person? And a lot of times when I'm in that, there is something there. There is something I'm holding on to that not allowing me to be here right now. Because when I'm here right now, things speak through us. And for me, and I think for Chris also, this is part of being with. Being with is not witnessing in silence. It's being engaged. Tell me more. Yeah. That's all I have.
What I feel like I have this conversation in IFS consultation all the time about how we can be with our clients in self energy and holding the protocol loosely, because there's still a protocol. Find a part. How do you feel towards it? There's still the F's. There's still protocol. And so when people are first learning about IFS, it's how do I do both? And you sort of you're gonna lean into sort of a striving, remembering the F's or having the F's written down somewhere. But like, how do you do both? And it's really kind of wonky at first, because I'm still trying to, I want to be with, I want to be with my parts, I want to be with my client's parts, and I want to hold loosely the model. And so I think I have that conversation probably 3 times a week about how to do that. And a lot of it's just working with your own parts, working with your parts, and trusting that trusting that self knows how to be with. Self knows how to be with in a way that is active, but not striving. Or maybe there's not energy around it. Self knows how to be with without maybe that manager energy.
Yeah, that really landed for me, Tammy. Thank you.
Thank you. I love the idea of being with. And I love the idea of being with our parts. I love the idea of being with you guys so much. Being with you right now feels so good. And I love the idea of how we are together, how we can begin to slow and speak for what it's like to be with each other. And then that as a practice, and then the practice of being with my parts and that being very similar. Those two practices, what's outside, what's inside.
Yeah, I think that the gift that I've seen in group work, of this work of bringing AR and IFS together, it creates a culture. Just like people in the IFS community, of like speaking in parts and speaking in authentic relating in parts. Being able to own your parts, being able to reveal your parts, and how liberating it has been for us and for our participants, it seems, to be known in that way. It's like, hey, these are here. This is me. These are all my parts. Yeah. Just opening the coat. see me. Like I invite you to see me. Yeah.
So maybe we can do a little check-in about how we're doing. And then, yeah, so maybe we could all check in about how we're doing and sort of what's happening in ourselves right now. And then if there's anything else you feel like you want to share. So check in, number one. Here's my manager. Number one, check in. Number two, is there anything else you want to share? And then number three, I want to know, do you guys have a course coming up? What do you guys have coming up on the docket so people can do this with you?
Great. Do you like to go first, Chris?
Yeah, I feel like a little diffuse. Maybe after sharing a little bit earlier. And then when you started to share, Yaniv, about the balance between the two, I noticed myself like kind of stepping back a little bit, not even stepping back, like diffusing backwards. Yeah, I guess tender would be a word. And I'm definitely not in an intellectual talk about bullet point place. It feels like I'm in a warm pool with both of you, and we just had a conversation, and now like we're still in the hot tub and looking at the sunset. And apparently that feels good because I catch myself laughing. So that's what's happening over here.
Part of me is feeling that. I'm like, okay, I'm right there with you. That feels really good. I like it.
I can go next. Yeah, I'm noticing a lot is happening for me at this moment. Noticing a part of me that is in another thing, another conversation, a text message I got just before here that my thinking parts are trying to build scenarios of what this means. Yeah, noticing that happening, noticing a part of me that's like, am I doing a good job? Is me, or am I giving enough space for Chris and Tammy? Am I taking too much space? Yeah, noticing that part. And also feeling, yeah, this calmness, and this feeling of accuracy. Like this has been so accurate, and just thinking back to my experience of being here and listening to both of you and to myself, and exhaling into everything that I've heard. So there's a part of me that's like, yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah, I'm just feeling, my heart is feeling very open and very warm. And I had a part saying, this might be my favorite episode ever. Really? I was like, okay, don't get too, I'm like, don't get too excited. You gotta relax. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess I also do have a podcast host part that wants to make sure we wrap up in a way that feels good, gives people information. But I also want to say we don't have to do that right now, right? I could do that in the show notes and other things, and we can just end on what feels good for us, truthfully.
Curious if we want to play a little authentic relating game.
Yeah, my parts are shaking my head. Yes, 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 yes. And Chris just raised his hand. So I think
Yeah.
we're going to say yes to that.
Yeah. Are you in, Chris?
Yeah.
So
I'm guessing what game.
yeah, I was
Go ahead.
thinking the noticing game.
Okay.
Or split brain, but that would probably take more time. I was thinking about, there's a game that we play in the course that we do, which is directing your inner theater, taking a polarity that you have, casting people in it, and then noticing what it's like to see the conversation going and directing it. Hey, can you be a little more soft with that part? Can you guys come to a resolution together? Um, but I think we should keep it simple, honestly. Play the noticing game. How does that sound, Chris?
How about the next game? We can finish on the next game.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, what
Great.
are you
I
thinking
love
about
that
that?
idea. I love that
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
So should we talk about the offering first before we play the game then?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Is that all right with you, Tammy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. So I'll start, and Chris, you can join in. So we've been doing this, the Art of IFS course. We've done it 3 times so far, and the most feedback we're getting from people is more. It's like, this is too short. We need more help integrating these tools in our lives. We feel so connected to the group. It feels short. So we've decided to create a much more integrative experience for people, and with a smaller group, to create like a real transformative experience, that people can really bring their parts into and feel and use the belonging of the group and authentic relating. I'm noticing that I'm feeling really activated right now. And I'm noticing that my cheeks are flushing. And yeah, and just noticing a lot of fear coming up. And I think it's, yeah, around taking my place and how scary that is, to do that right now and say, hey, I'm offering something of value. And I noticed that happening, and as I was talking, and I noticed how my words fell away, and I felt more and more the body sensation of this fear. And it feels such a gift to be able to share that and say that. Yeah, I'm just noticing a huge exhale into accepting and loving these parts of me that are scared. Yeah. So this is what we'll be doing for 12 weeks. We're going to get a chance to be able to express ourselves,
yeah,
in a way that we never have. And be brave. And yeah, Chris and I are, and maybe you can share a little bit after this, Chris, but yeah, since we started doing this work together, I noticed how much these practices integrate between them, synergize. It's not the word I'm looking for. And how much deeper I'm able to go. It's kind of like an infinity pool. You know, when I was talking to Chris, I said, it's something around how you say that a therapist can only take you as far as they went themselves. And he was like, well, it's not exactly that. It's more like they kind of shadow each other. Like, as the more I reveal, the more I'm able to see my parts, the more I accept my parts, the more I'm able to be with you. Right. And that's the plan. As within, so without. That is the link for these 12 weeks of like, how do we go in and out, and how we can go a little bit more out as we go more in, like how the walls move. Yeah, Chris, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, if you'd like some information on what Yaniv just shared.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
You can go to AuthenticIFS.com. That's AuthenticIFS.com. And find out more about this 12-week journey that Yaniv just beautifully lived with us here. Yeah. And we'd love to get to know you as we get to know ourselves more. Yeah. AuthenticIFS.com. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. So let's play the game, and then we'll close with the game.
Great.
So what's the game?
You want to explain it, Chris?
Yeah, I'm happy to explain it. So, imagine like right now, there's something that you really wished someone would say to you. Like, there's a part of you that really wants to hear something right now, Tammy. Like, God, it would be great if someone just told me this right now. So, Yaniv, as I explain this, maybe you can think of that as well, and I'll think of it. This is like, God, if I could just put time out and hit the pause button and have someone come into the room and tell me what I really need to hear, this is what that would be. So once we have that, instead of simply revealing it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a person, Yaniv or Tammy, and I'm going to say, Tammy, and I'm going to say to you what I actually wish someone was saying to me in this present moment. And so it's a gift I'm giving to you that I'm wanting for myself. And you receive however you receive it. You just say thank you. And then it's that person's turn to go, and you will choose someone else. Say to them what you wish you were hearing. So the key is that when you hear one of us speaking to another, what we're saying is actually what we wish someone was saying to us. All right, so let me check in. How is that, Tammy? Get the sense of it?
Totally. I love it.
All
yes.
right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and I would invite, as we often invite in this work, is to notice what it's like to say this thing that you really want to hear. As within, so without.
and if you're listening, you might begin to think about what you wish you were hearing and to play along.
Definitely. I love that. Definitely. Okay.
I'm happy to go first. Tammy, thank you for showing up today exactly as you did. I know you've got a lot going on. You've come a long way. Yeah, you've come a long way, and I can see how much you feel and how much you care. And I wouldn't have you any other way.
Yaniv, you are loved, and you're going to be loved. And you're safe, and you're going to be safe.
Thank you, Tammy. Chris, you are so wanted. You are so wanted.
Thank you, Yaniv. And thank you, everyone, for being with us in this conversation.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tammy.
Thank you. Thanks for hanging out today. If you liked this episode, make sure you subscribe. And if you really like this episode, share it with a friend and leave a review. You can follow me on Instagram at IFS Tammy and join our community on Facebook at the One Inside Podcast. Talk to you next time.